You know what absolutely drives me up the wall? The fact that the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity airs just once a week on Saturdays, and the wait until the next episode feels like being stuck in romance limbo. I want to see it every single day, because once that episode ends, I'm left staring glumly at the ending screen thinking, great, now what am I supposed to do with all these feelings? It's like, just give me the whole season already. Why this weekly heartbreak, Japan? So, what is it about this show that hooks people like me and then leaves us hanging? Let's get right into how this anime manages to make being single feel like both a blessing and a curse. On the surface, it's another sweet, gentle romance. But there's something really sharp about the slow pacing, the soft art, and the way the characters interact that makes you want to root for them, even when it feels a little too close to home. Let's talk about the real stars here. Rintaro and Kaoruko. Rintaro's got this misunderstood reputation at school, but all he wants is to make cakes and not scare people. Kaoruko just loves pastry, and sometimes I think she loves pastry more than she'll ever love another human. When these two meet in the mini bakery, there isn't some dramatic music or instant love at first sight vibe. No, it's subtle. She's curious, he's awkward, and somewhere in between a cake order and a compliment, you can feel things shifting. That's actually more relatable than any over-the-top anime confession, if you ask me. What stands out is how the writers absolutely nail those small, in-between moments. The hesitant glances, the little smiles, the way Karuko mumbles thanks in the quietest voice imaginable. There's a real tenderness here, and it's so understated that you find yourself leaning in, hoping for literally anything to happen. A tiny hand brush, a clumsy apology, whatever. The tension builds up so gradually it's almost criminal. But that's what makes it so addictive. I'll be mid-episode grinning, sometimes physically cringing at how cute and awkward they are, and then boom, the episode ends. The universe is like, yeah, sorry, come back next week. No mercy. The killer is, while you're rooting for these painfully shy, genuinely adorable teens, you also get a dose of self-awareness about your own single status. Because their lives might seem uneventful, but somehow every episode serves up enough sweetness to make my reality, watching alone with Maggie, seem both relatable and kind of hollow. I'm happy for the fictional bakery couple, but when Karuko blushes or Rintaro gets tongue-tied, I'm reminded that my own love life is all plot, no action. Now, the bakery setting is genius. Food in anime is always next level, but here it's more than eye candy. It's this safe place for the characters. Karuko's eyes literally light up when she talks about cakes, and the way Rintaro takes pride in his baking just makes you root for him. Their conversations over desserts are slow and a little awkward, but you know what? That's how real connections usually start. Plus, their friends, every single side character, adds this extra dose of warmth and comic relief. The guy who's always teasing Rintaro, the supportive, slightly nosy bakery staff, it's a great reminder that romance happens in a community, not just a vacuum. But let's get real for a second. In the age of nonstop streaming where you can binge literally anything, having to wait a week between episodes is frankly cruel. I sit there counting down the days, replaying tiny moments, trying to decode every glance like it's a secret message. Are they just being polite? Was that look actually a confession? Why am I thinking about two high schoolers more than my own texts? This anime weaponizes anticipation, and honestly, it works. It's like emotional fasting. I want to gorge on this story, but all I get is a little taste every weekend. What else is wild is how this show makes single people both sad and happy at the same time. Watching Rintaro and Karuko is like watching someone else win a lucky draw you didn't even enter. There's that familiar single-person joy, that feeling of safe distance where you get to celebrate love without risking anything. But then there's the oof that hits deep. When you realize, yeah, I haven't been this flustered talking to someone since I accidentally ordered double cheese on my pizza. Being happy for them is easy. Not envying them is impossible. And yet the series never drifts into sappy territory. It's not big on melodrama, no love triangles, no wild declarations. Instead, what you get is tiny victories. Like that scene where Karuko gathers the courage to return a tray and actually makes eye contact. Or when Rintaro spends 10 minutes picking out a ribbon for the box because he wants her to like the cake, and maybe, just maybe, like him too. That restraint makes every small step feel big, which just keeps your heart in it, week after week. Visually, this anime is just stunning. Pastel colors, lots of soft light. Every frame looks like it could be a phone wallpaper. I sometimes catch myself pausing just to soak in the details. The little flower motifs, the glow on the cakes, the cherry blossoms outside the bakery window. The soundtrack helps too. Gentle piano, soft hums, plus the most addictive opening song. You hear that first note and it's Pavlovian. Instant good mood, followed by instant longing for more. Now Kaoruko herself is a kind of single-person icon. She's sweet, a bit awkward, and clearly not the main character in her own life. At least not until she meets Rintaro. Watching her is like watching every shy, sweet, quietly hopeful single person finally get noticed by someone who sees all that. There's something so honest in her happiness when she's offered a new cake. She reminds me of those moments where you forget to be self-conscious because you're just genuinely enjoying a small joy. Meanwhile, Rintaro is refreshing because he's not some cool, perfect lead. He's anxious about being misjudged. He likes things quiet. He bakes partly because it's safer than trying to fit in. The fact that these two gravitate to each other feels not just plausible, but inevitable. They're drawn together by kindness and acceptance, not grand gestures or destiny. What keeps bringing me back is how the show doesn't try to force drama. It gives the awkwardness space to breathe. There are plenty of moments where nothing much happens on the surface, but as a viewer, you're tuned into every micro-expression, every slight shift in body language. The directors have found a way to translate all the tension and sweetness of young crushes into something that feels intimate instead of exaggerated. So why does it hurt so good? Part of it is nostalgia, I think. Whether you're in school or out in the world, there's that longing to be seen the way Rintaro and Kaoruko see each other. The other part is just the sheer unfairness of having to wait a week to see if they'll actually make progress or if all we get is another shared snack and longing look. I guess the show is a reminder that it's the tiny steps that matter, that happiness isn't in the grand moments, but in the shy smiles, the accidental compliments, the willingness to open up and risk a little bit. Honestly, this is prime single viewing material. It lets you feel all the cute, mushy feelings, but there's no pressure, no heartbreak of your own if things go sideways. You get to pause, cheer, sigh, and then stew in your own daydreams until Saturday rolls around again. It's almost comforting, even if it feels a little lonely. And I have to hand it to the creators. They know exactly how to keep us coming back. Just enough progress to make you hope, just enough cliffhanger to keep you desperate. It's a weekly cycle of hope, joy, envy, and patience. Sometimes more waiting than story, but always worth it. So if you're up for it, embrace the wait. Watch these two weirdos fumble their way toward love and maybe, just maybe, enjoy feeling every bit as awkward and hopeful as they are. The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity will break your heart, softly, gently, and delightfully every single Saturday. That's what makes it suck, and that's exactly why I can't stop watching.